Technical session number 6. Jumping around a lot. We've done T40, T3, T7, T16, T23, coming all the way back to T6, addressing the client. Today is mostly about customer service. So, our objectives for this particular technical session are going to learn to address clients with warmth, authenticity, and a willingness to help them. We can all very quickly and easily point out bad customer service experiences you've had, but can you pull out some of the best ones you've had? And remember how that person was when they talked to you. I was lucky enough to come through this cohort, and we had a woman in the class by the name of Rose. And if ever I need to hire someone to train staff on customer service, I would pay her whatever she wanted. She was an absolute master at customer service. She knew it hands down. She pretty much led the class on this. She always talked about you fix the client first, then the problem. If they come in and they're in a heightened emotional state, you have to bring that down before you can actually communicate with them about what's going on. So address the client first, then the problem. Next, you want to talk or explain a little bit how our growth mindset can help you perfect the art of working with clients in order to provide excellent service. Remember, IT unfortunately has a stereotype of horrible customer service. It's essentially a meme. There are tons of shows that basically make fun of it. Almost any commercial you see when they're talking about IT, it's usually not in a positive light when it comes to the customer service aspect. And our goals here are to change that. When we step in, we want to be, the person that makes a positive impact on that belief. Next, adjust how we work with clients depending on the type of client we're encountering. Because not every client's going to come in cool, calm, collected, and ready to get down and work on that problem. Some are going to come in frantic. Some are going to come in angry. Some are going to come in and burst to the front of the line because their problem is more important than anybody else who has been sitting here waiting for the last hour. There are different types of clients, different types of people out there, and we have to be able to address these situations. So, pull this up here real quick. I forgot to do that. Apologies. This is T6. We're not moving to the other side of the room, obviously. But we do have some questions here for true false. So what you're going to do is we're going to give a check mark for true, red X for false. Can we get check marks across the screen just to make sure we're all here? Couple more. Get some check marks. All right, let's go ahead and clear those check marks out. So 5 statements. Give me green check if it's true, red X if you think it's false. Then we'll do some call outs. First statement. Clients know exactly what they need when they come in to ask for help. Green check if you think that's true, red X if you think it's false. Clients know exactly what they need when they come in to ask for help.
I wish I could put more than one.
So the argument is they came in, it was broken, and they want to fix it. that's exactly what they need. They need it fixed. So let's see here. Christine, can you tell us why you think customers do not know exactly what they want? Mic not working. Okay. Heen, can you tell me why you think customers do not know?
Sometimes the customer might, you know, they're not really technical, so they might not know like what exactly is wrong with the computer, but maybe they have some kind of vague idea. So yeah, so when they come to you, they might not know everything. So we should, we could help them out if they don't, make it more clear and stuff.
Excellent. I like that. Thank you, Ian. Shamel, can you let us know why you think customers may not know exactly what they want?
Sometimes they may not know how to explain what the problem is in detail.
That is absolutely fair. Excellent. Thank you. So yeah, Adriel.
They know what was wrong. They wouldn't be calling us.
Not necessarily. They may not have the authority to fix it.
Yeah, they might not know how to fix it, but in the sense of if they knew exactly what it was, and they always do, they'd be like, all right, so I've been having some driver troubles and I really don't know how to download them. Can you walk me through how I get to the manufacturer website? I'm like, listen, brother, you're already halfway there.
Hey, I have a pirated version of Windows. Can you tell me why I can't seem to get it working properly?
You're calling the wrong place, man. After hours.
Sorry, did I forget to mention these calls are recorded for customer assurance? All right. So yeah, the customer may not know exactly what the issue is, and as it was put, if they did know, they may, they likely wouldn't be calling us unless it was an authorization issue. Like they may not have the authority in the system to be able to fix what issue you're having. So there are cases like that, but the vast majority of it is they may not necessarily be in the field. They may not be technically minded. They may not understand what's going on and what they're having an issue with may be a symptom of a larger problem. Our goal is to not treat symptoms, but solve the underlying issues. Now, the issue may be the user, and we got to be a little more delicate with that, but that's our goal, solve the issue. So that's the first one. Let's clear out our responses here. We have 5 of these total. This one always gets entertaining responses. Some people are born with a certain type of face and cannot keep smiling, especially to strangers.
What was that?
Some people are born with a certain type of face and they can't keep smiling, especially to strangers.
What?
That would be me, Kelly. That's me, even if I try.
I mean, there are some people that smiles come easy to them. They smile all the time. They just kind of seem like happy-go-lucky people. But some people have that scowl, and that scowl is always there, and they can't change that. That's the one that always comes up, Madison. That comes up every time. All right, so we got a good mix here. I like this one. It's So let's go for Galen. Why do you say yes?
I say yes because I was thinking about it the other way around. Like a lot of people think I'm mean, and then when they
Okay.
talk to me or when we have a conversation, they find out that I'm a really nice person. I'm actually nicer than your average person, and I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not trying to. I mean, that's just what people say to me. I'm just going off of my life and what people think of me and what I always hear. They always say that. Oh, when I saw you, you look like some big mean guy, and then when I speak to you, you know, it's different.
And that, I mean, that is the case a lot of times. But you know, I would agree with that assessment, Galen. You've been very pleasant the entire class.
Yeah. Thank you.
100%.
Let's see here. Ninjin. What do you
Yes, sir.
why do you agree with that? Or wait, no, you have disagree, don't you? Ninja, yeah, why do you disagree, sir?
I mean, you know, we all have good days and bad days. So you can't just, I don't know, when you wear it on your sleeve, right? Like when you're, so I just don't see it happening because I don't have that, and so I just don't think everyone's just happy all the time and smiling.
Yeah, but it's also not everybody's mad all the time either, right?
Well, absolutely, I'm not saying mad, but yes, not
Okay,
smiling.
so you don't agree that people just have a certain type of face and that's just what it
Exactly.
is.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's get one more of each. Madison, why do you agree?
I was just thinking like some people might have defects. That could be one. And then also the resting bee face situation.
Yeah, but that can change. I mean, you can work on that.
It can, but like some people really just can't feel like the muscles in their face. I've been told that so many times. Like smile. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy inside. I have happy thoughts. Like it just doesn't register to me that I look unhappy. So I resonate with that so much.
Okay.
Kelly, that is a very it's very broad net you just cast it out, saying that, you know, well, I agree with Madison.
Again, we're
some
not
people-
looking for the exception that disproves the rule.
Hey, it's not the exception in my family.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to walk up to some of my aunts or some of my sisters. You just wouldn't. I'm just saying. And they're the loveliest people in the world, and they look like they would kill you with a stare. But they'd feed you and make sure that you had everything you needed so you could get back home.
So they had the 100-yard stare.
Yeah. So it's definitely one of those things where tone of voice carries some people's interactions way more than how they might look. So if you see somebody, I think it happens a lot with teachers that are strict. Mm-hmm. So especially English teachers, I remember because some students kind of, especially where I'm from, they kind of don't use proper grammar or English when they're speaking, and they'll correct them, but they'll do it because they care. So it'll sound like they're being very hard on you, but they're like, hey, you know, I want you to say this, that, and this, and then you'll see how they walk you through it and stuff like that. And then you're like, you know what? That wasn't too bad, you know. now I know how to solve this issue.
I live in the South, right? You know, nobody here uses proper grammar.
Bless your heart.
So it's just it's standard.
Yeah.
It's like nobody does. So yeah,
it's tough.
But no, I get your point. And yeah, some people can come off as, they may come off or sound gruff in the onset, but then again, you learn pretty quickly they're the first person that will jump up if you need help.
Also, Kelly, have you seen, I think people are born with a smile. Some of us, like myself, I had to practice it because I'm not a smiley person. But I want to give an example. You know, dimples are actually a defect, right? But have you seen a person with a dimples upset? They always look like they're happy even when they're not. So some of people are born with it. Some of us are just not born with it. We had to practice. Like I had to practice when I was in the administration.
You know, and I'm like that too, because like I have this the way my face looks when I'm thinking or whatever, I always look like I'm scowling or angry. I was always told I had cold eyes. And so I started wearing glasses to soften my appearance. So I don't wear contacts. But yeah, I do kind of get it. But it is something you can practice and develop and work on. I'm coming right to you, Crystal. So yes. But yeah, I mean, is it some people may have a more stern looking appearance? Yes, but can they develop those muscles to become more personable? Yes. And I believe Crystal even mentioned it in the chat. Smile when you talk on the phone. People can actually hear it. And they can hear when you're gritting your teeth too. So, they can kind of hear both. Did you have a question or a comment here, Crystal? You're muted. You're still muted.
Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries.
My father and I call my mother BMS, which is short for Black Martha Stewart. The only thing my mom is missing in her life is a Miss Manners column. She's an English teacher, and she was working on her PhD when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. That's the only thing that stopped her. But my mom looked me dead in my face and told me she did everything right in her life. And I'm just going to tell you all that you have to change your complete mindset. Remember when I was talking about changing your mindset about customer service, like when someone's screaming at you, you have to force yourself to know how your face looks when you look at people. My parents were adamant, you are not going to walk around this earth looking like you have an attitude. So they constantly were on me about that. And now, even when I am smoking hot angry, I look like this. And so while that is a negative thing in some aspects, because it doesn't really teach you how to stand up for yourself, when it comes to professionalism, you guys, take it from an OG, fix your face and fix your tone quick, because there's someone standing in line waiting for that job with those good benefits.
Or you may have like in my particular case, I had one time where I lost my temper on a driver, and the assistant to one of the senior executives was walking behind me at that moment. And for years after that, I was known by the executives as the person who chewed out a driver, even though any of the other drivers were like, no, that's not him at all. He never does that. And what happened was they didn't hear the 5 minutes of nonstop tirade that happened before that. And I never even got the guy's name. And I lost my temper once and was basically permanently branded in the company because of it. Yes, Casey.
I have a story, but it's less, I guess it's less noble, but I guess it was just a group of my friends, and for the most part, they're just the typical group of college girls, and they would always get hit on, and I'm like, I know I'm not that ugly looking. Like, why? Why am I getting hit on? And they're like, well, it's because you look serious and you look mean. I'm like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. So for that point, I just try to smile. But yeah, that's real story, guys. Okay, people just like people who smile, and
Well, it makes you more approachable, especially in a professional sense.
yeah.
I mean, you don't want like the creepy Joker smile, like where it's going like ear to ear, and you can see like the whites all the way around your eyes. That gets it's a little intense. Some people will kind of quickly, briskly walk away from that. But just nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always worried about the wrinkles too. For us women, it's like, oh God, wrinkles. But in this case, it's good. It's good to have wrinkles around your mouth.
I mean, my sister heard her say it. Like if I get laugh lines from smiling and laughing too much, that's a good life. All right. So Pretty good. Let's clear out our responses here. We got a couple more here. That, like I said, that one's always the most entertaining one to talk about. Next one. It's okay to get annoyed when a client is rude or not listening to you.
Can you say that one more time?
It's okay to get annoyed when a client is rude or not listening. Ooh. Kind of all over the place on this one. I like that. All right, Rena, you say no. Why?
In customer service, I think it's not okay to be rude, but you should be firm.
Okay. Fair point. Fair point. See here, Ume. You say no as well. Why?
Yes, I think I get annoyed, then I'm giving them the key to make me annoyed. So I don't take anything personally. That's my perspective. Like
Don't take it
I
personally.
don't take this personally.
Okay, I like it. Don't take it personally. That is a fair assessment. Babukar, you say yes.
Yes, because you can be annoyed at a customer, but just don't let them know that you're annoyed, like you're angry or mad at them. Like just keep it inside you, but it's normal to be angry when somebody is rude at you. Like, of course, you're gonna be angry, somebody cussing at you or blaming you for things that you don't do. So
Okay.
you can be annoyed. Just don't
So
bring it out.
it's okay to feel it, just don't express it.
Just don't express it. There you go.
Okay. That's a fair point. Artez.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same as Babacar. It's okay to feel it, but just don't express it, because customer service is all about is what it says. Customer service is it's like a basketball player saying, "Oh, I want to play football today." Like it's not okay. Like you may want to do that, but it's not okay. You play basketball. That's what you get paid for. You understand? So it's okay to feel it, but to express it, I think that's not okay.
Okay. See any others here? All right. Let's clear the Crystal.
I disagree with Babukar because I feel as though if you feel it, it's going to seep into your voice. But that's just me. That's just me.
It is
and
fair.
so, in my observation, thank you.
Okay, that's a fair point.
You can understand that.
Stephen.
Is my audio okay?
Yes, sir.
So
it's not after lunch, so your mic's good.
Okay, yeah, right. A trick that I've learned, because I've been dealing with customers and customer service since I was 18. When I am working with customers, I always take it as I put like a work mindset on. Like it's just work related. This is not personal. These people aren't angry at me, that they're angry at a situation that's happening, and I'm here to help them. And it's like I've never snapped on a customer in my life because I always just think of it as work. And that's why I've always been deemed as like the most patient in any freaking like work I've ever been in, like every job. So that's kind of like a thing that I've always took with me, is just like, this is just, work related. This isn't personal. And I've never let a customer like get to me, my emotions ever. So it's kind of helped me out in the long run.
Okay, so you compartmentalize your personal self and your work self. When you're at work, it's all business, get it taken care of. None of this is reflecting on me personally. It is a situational issue.
Correct. Yeah. So it kind of just has been helping me and leaves me with less stress during work, after work. It's just like, hey, I'm here to take care of business. I'm here to service customers' needs. make them feel good, and get the job done. And that's pretty much it. So
That is a powerful skill there, Steve. I wish I was better at compartmentalizing.
yeah, it's helped me come a long way. I tell you that.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes, sir.
It's like a two-parter. But like the first part is, man, if they ain't talking about your mama and your kids, and so you understand, right?
I get it.
That's it. It's over, right? And like IT is so open, and it could leave you. This is what happened. Like what's going on in my mind. Like it could leave you lead you into different positions where you can be in front of a customer or you cannot be, like, and that could be your position, like that could be your permanent position. Like you can always work over the phone or you can work over the phone and in person. Is that true?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You always have customers.
Right.
Doesn't matter where you work. Doesn't matter what position you're in, you always have customers. Those customers may be internal people in the company. It may be coworkers who are waiting for you to complete something so that they can continue the task on. It could be people outside the company who are trying to purchase something. You always are going to be dealing with customers. It's just being able to recognize what type of customer you're dealing with.
Right, because I'm thinking, like, some people could handle a customer being irate over the phone because, you can mute them, you could take your deep breaths, whatever, you understand. Not mute them, mute yourself and take your deep breaths.
I would say be careful about the mute button,
Right,
because I've had multiple coworkers think they muted and they didn't.
Because but a customer in person, I know that's a different monster also.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So I know people thinking like, oh, how I'm gonna handle this one and this one, but since IT is so open, it'll leave you. It could lead you into different positions where maybe you don't have to deal with the person in face,
or your interactions with customers are less frequent.
Yes, yes, less frequent. So. Customers always, but just that personal, that one-on-one in face.
Okay, that is fair, and that is true. So you may have some where you're strictly telephone, you're strictly email, you're strictly in person, and depending on your strengths, you may gravitate towards different ones because they would play to your skills.
That's exactly what I was trying to tell the rest of the class. Like, even if you thinking like, oh, I can't work with this or deal with this customer, like maybe you see your strengths, you know yourself, and then try to find a position where you're gonna be, your strengths will play.
Fair, absolutely fair. Brianna.
I agree with Artez and Stephen, especially when Stephen mentioned separating yourself when you're at work. But I also think that there should be a line between, that line should be for everyone, but there has to be some kind of boundary where, okay, if the customer goes too far, you should be allowed to step away from the situation for your own mental health. Because
usually if it escalates, you go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like if it escalates to the point where I've seen people get threatened. I had a friend that used to work as a receptionist in a psychiatric center, and one of the therapists wasn't responding to the patient's call, and the patient got really upset, threatened to kill everybody, and a lot of violent threats. And it came to the point where, and mind you, the patient's yelling at my friend. She's not even a therapist. She's just the one on the phone. So in cases like that, it's important to step away from that situation because at that point, it's just too far gone. I understand wanting to give excellent customer service and you stay on the phone and try to resolve the problem. But I do think that not in extreme cases like what my friend went through, but I do think there are times where it's either something triggering to you, like they could be a racist client, they could start personally attacking you based on your physical appearance. If you're on the phone, they could just start saying things that will trigger anybody because you never know what a person went through. So there has to be a line and a boundary that you have where if it gets crossed, you should be allowed to say, okay, you know what? I want to help you, but at this point, you're too far gone. Now, don't say it the way I said it, but you have to say it in a way where, you know what?
You can call
Well-
me back when you've calmed down. I can't help you help me if you're, doing all that. So
But here's the thing. If you have good supervisors and managers, they will step in at that point.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
pass it along.
yeah, that's true. But sometimes they're not
and
there. They could
Yeah,
be doing
and-
something else.
I think
and you can let them know, like, look, I would appreciate you not cussing or whatnot. And I've
Yeah.
I've
I
had,
think-
and that was the exact situation I was in, where the person was quite literally just unloading on me for 5 minutes. I didn't know their name. I didn't know their problem. I didn't know what was going on. All I had was me answering the phone and a guy cussing and screaming at me for 5 straight minutes.
Exactly. And you have to assert yourself. You can't
was
just
about
to
because
say
you're in customer, you can't be a doormat. You know what I
was
mean?
No,
just
and
about to
it's
ask
also-
you that,
contract.
Kelly. Aren't you allowed to enforce a boundary as a customer service representative?
To a degree, yes, but you have to still be able to do
Oh.
that boundary tactfully.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not gonna
So,
say like, hey,
that's-
you're gonna tell me to
that's the
shut up. I'm
thing
gonna have
is-
to tell you to shut up, all right, bro. So
When I responded, I raised my voice. I responded poorly.
Not like that, but
and that was the one time that somebody walked up on me. So, like, yes, you do not have to be a doormat. You do need to assert, like, look, I'm not, we're not going to tolerate this kind of abuse or language. If they start getting threatening, if it's in
Exactly.
person, either a supervisor needs to be stepped in or the police need to be called. There are methods to take care of it, because physical threats will not be tolerated at all, period. And there are tactful ways that you can handle a lot of these situations without letting yourself be a full doormat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think knowing
yeah,
I've seen that
that's what I was
happen
trying
before.
to say. Just assert yourself and figure out how to do it professionally. That's my advice to
Yes.
everyone, because you don't have to take that.
And that is very much the exception, not the rule. Where customers are going to come in and literally just go on like a never-ending tirade. If that is the regular where you're at, you may want to look
nobody
at
will
your
work
company.
here.
You may want to look at your company at that point, because if that is the standard for the customer coming in, I don't see why anybody would want to work there.
I think
mean,
we
that
need
was
to
my
learn
friend's
how to
situation.
de-escalate a situation
Yes,
If
and try to calm the person down and
Yes.
not
You
take
don't
it
match their
personally, because it's
tone.
just a customer.
Yeah.
You're probably never going to talk to them again, or if you do, they likely won't have that attitude again, and you want to give them a good experience, no matter
Right.
how they feel at the moment.
And passing the customer off to another person, is that possible? Like, all right,
Well, that's where the supervisor would become involved. Like,
Right,
if a
yeah,
supervisor,
because
if you're in person
not
and a
even about to
supervisor
go
hears
down
somebody
that road.
screaming at you, they need to
It's
come over and
over.
intervene.
I say, hey, all right, hold on, sir. I got you. Don't worry. I'm not.
Yeah.
We are on the phone. I am not about to go crazy, Phil. Hey, listen, I'm gonna laugh at you and I'm gonna just pass the phone, because what I'm gonna do, I got 100 more people I'm trying to get to. I can't worry about that one person. I know it's gonna take a toll, but self-health is very important also.
Understood.
Understand?
But again, we need to be able to handle it professionally. That's the key, is be able to handle it in a professional manner. We don't need to respond rudely to
exactly.
them, but you can assert yourself, like, look, personal, I'm not going to tolerate personal attacks. I'm here trying to help you. I understand you're upset. We can either try to handle this, in a calm manner, or I can hand you off to my supervisor or whatnot if you have an issue with me directly. You can assert yourself in that situation without becoming, essentially matching the tone and aggression of the person you're facing. So
overall, don't personalize it. It's not.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't personalize it.
Yeah, basically. All right. Last one. If a client does not listen to what the employee says, the employee should just move on and let the client do what they want. Yes or no? If the client does not listen to what the employee says, the employee should just move on and let the client do what they want.
Language is so important, man.
See some no's, See some yeses. All
Really
right.
don't want to answer.
All right.
Have
Kick
a
us
lot
off,
of
Adriel. Why do you
experience.
say no, Adriel?
I want to say this because I feel like I was bred for customer service being in my family. It's just like it's in the blood, you know, it just happens. Everybody don't want to listen, so you got to hit them with something else. You got to make them think, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you called me for a reason. Don't you're not about to call me and then not take my advice. You know,
Yep.
I'm the one that you need the help from. But regardless,
I used to literally tell customers that you hired me to protect you from yourself.
Yes, exactly. So you definitely have those situations where you are on the call, like let's say somebody's not listening to you because they're angry and something is like that. I was thinking about how you would assert yourself, and you would basically state a boundary, and you make sure that they respect it, and so you don't have to come like ask for a supervisor or something like that. You basically say like, hey, I understand what's happening, even if you haven't, like, even just saying like, hey, I've definitely been where you are right now. I got you. We're on the phone. I'm gonna try and help you out through this. I'm just gonna need you to calm down. I'm not even taking it personally. Let's just get through this and we can finish this. And next time you'll know how to not deal with this. So, you know, we walk them through, and if you're not listening to me, you're probably gonna make the situation worse.
Okay.
Now, I know it's hard because you have files that you really need. I understand. I get it. Pictures are important. We're gonna get them. I just need you to listen to me. So wherever you are, if I could remote into your desktop, whatever, go ahead and you would speak and tell me what happened, and I would try my best to resolve the issue for you. Now,
Okay.
I can't do that if you keep screaming at me though, love. So I mean,
Well, no, this isn't them screaming at you. This is just them not listening to you.
you might end up making it worse.
Exactly. You got to search yourself.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I don't want you to make the situation worse, because like, you can just trying your best to connect with somebody on the human level instead of just being the person that's fixing the issue is definitely something that's very important. Saying something like, I've been in places where I've messed stuff up and I don't want you to have to go through that. So please
develop trust.
Yeah, if you can please take your hands off the keys, or like, you know, not press the mouse at the moment, and just tell me what has happened so we can walk through this. It's as easy as that, really.
Fair assessment.
Yeah, so that's probably the most annoying part, when they're not listening. The angry part I can understand, but the not listening is like, bro, you're gonna make this so much harder for the both of us.
Got it. Crystal, did you have your hand up?
Just gonna say, well, I was more so thinking about like just letting the person vent, because if you let them vent and you're quiet, they'll be like, hello, hello. And then my retort would be, well, I was trying to assist you. Are you ready for me to assist you now? And just kind of leave it like that, you know? I understand you have a problem, so let me help you, which means that you're going to have to listen to what I'm saying. Thanks.
So there's one way to go about it. Babakar, you say, yes, you should let them go about their own way. Why do you say that?
Like, some customers will just not listen to what you're saying, and you cannot force them, you cannot convince them. If they don't want to listen, they just don't want to listen. Some people are that stubborn. Like, you trying to help them, but then they want you to do, you know, something else, something different, something that's not even, you know, on their own favor. So the only thing you can do is escalate the call, or just, I don't know, let them go about their business, because at that point, I don't think there's anything you can do.
So if a customer calls you, you work at XYZ Corp, and they're in operations, and they call you and they say, I've got, you know, my system's running slow. My hard drive seems like it's going crazy all the time. And a lot of the files that were there yesterday aren't there today. Can you help me? And you go and you look through, and there's malware. And you take several hours and you clear out the malware, and you tell them, you know, and you go through their history, and you realize that they've been going to a lot of tourist sites. and you tell them, look, you're going to these bad sites. It's against the
Company policy.
the company policies or whatnot, acceptable use policy, AUPs. Please don't do it. And they say, no, I can't do that. I promised my cousin I would get the last 3 seasons of Dexter downloaded before this weekend. And I don't have the bandwidth at home. Do we just let them go their own way?
No, that's what I was saying. Like, you report, you tell
Family
your
over
superior,
everything.
talk to your supervisor or manager. Yeah, at that point, you can't let them go because
Yeah,
they're gonna keep doing it, and then so what you need to do is maybe report them or block the sites or escalate the call, something. But they're not gonna listen, so they're not gonna listen to what you say.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to
Okay.
say.
So, that's a complicated question. It depends on the, in IT, we quickly learn there is no black and white. It's a world of gray. So a lot of the, solutions and things we're doing or implementing are situational. So it's for that situation. So, but we have general guidelines and regulations that we have to adhere to. All right. So interesting discussion. I like that one. In general, when you're working with customers, we want to try to address the client with what is called the SPOT method. If you've worked in customer service for any length of time, you've probably heard this acronym before. And it basically comes on smile. Even if you're on the phone, they can hear it in your voice. Present yourself to the client. Hi, my name is Kelly. Offer to help. How can I assist? And then when you're done, make sure you thank the client for coming in, because without them, we don't have a job. So we don't have to be a doormat, but in general, we want to provide a good level of customer service and make sure we are taking care of our customers, because we do want them coming back asking for us by name. So first 2 steps, make sure we smile and present ourselves. So like, if you're in person, you would stand up, square in, like you're going to shake the person's hand, depending on where you're at, post-COVID, I don't think, we don't really do that much anymore, but you're still within that 3-foot range, essentially presenting yourself to the clients, letting them know your body posture is, to them, letting them know that basically they have your full attention. You're here ready to assist them specifically. So real quick, we're just going to break into some groups. We'll do 3 groups of 3. We can kind of practice this. Smile, introduce yourself, and we'll add something on. We'll do a quick within arm's reach. So whatever's within arm's reach, just smile, present yourself. Tell me something real quick about something you have within your vicinity that has meaning to you. Doesn't have to be something serious, doesn't have to be something monumental. It could be just, like, hey, this is my little probe. I use it for everything, especially now because I can't press keyboards. I just wedge it in my glove so I can press keys. It could be something silly. It doesn't matter. Just to get a little bit of practice. If you have a camera, please try to get your cameras on so that we can see everybody's smiling faces. And we just get a little bit of practice on it. Crystal's already on it. So we'll go into
Kelly,
breakout
could you
rooms.
repeat that? You want us to say what now?
Well, we're doing the first 2 of the SPOT. We're going to smile, present ourselves, and I threw in a little curveball with the within arm's reach activity. Just grab something real quick in your vicinity. Tell us something about it. It could be just a quirky little knickknack.
Okay.
Could be, picture of your family. Heck, it could be your dog. It doesn't matter. Like if it's within arm's reach, just to kind of add a little something other than hi. I'm Kelly, and that's it. Make it a little bit more interesting. So we'll take about 10 minutes in groups to do that. I'm going to pause the recording real quick.